Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Major Hype. I'm your host, Maxwell, and every day, Monday through Friday, we talk about everything real estate, entrepreneurship, and money. And today is no different, so get ready. Everyone's favorite company, well, at least in the top two, because for me, it's between Apple and Amazon. Amazon has been quietly buying real estate during COVID. Between 2020 and 2022, they have purchased over, I think it's closer to around $3 billion worth of real estate, with one of their more recent acquisitions just north of Austin, about 200 acres. Now, Austin's a poppin' city right now, so I know that 200 acres came at a pretty penny, but Texas is a non-disclosure state, so we really don't know how much they spent in Texas, so it could be a lot more than $3 billion, but they've been buying a lot. They own over 400,000 acres in America, 400,000 acres of land, and their goal is to be able to just get everything to you faster, right? They're saying that customers will start buying more from Amazon when they realize they can get things in 5 hours and not 2 days. Can you imagine that? 5 hours? I mean, last night I bought something on Amazon and it showed up into my door in like 15 hours. And I'm thinking that's pretty fast. They're talking about same day service. I live in North Carolina. We don't have same day service yet. I don't think on anything, but think about that. Order something from Amazon and get it in 5 hours. That's completely insane. So they're buying, obviously, because it's a tax advantage, but they're actually a landlord in a lot of their facilities right now from a company called Prologis, who is like a huge industrial real estate owner. And if you don't know, industrial real estate is probably one of the safest, I wouldn't say safest, but one is the more secure real estate investments right now because it's at an all-time low of around 3.4% vacancy. So that means vacancy is fairly low and this company is absolutely huge. But I'm not done talking about Prologis. Let's move on to the next topic. All right, that company Prologis I was talking about owns over 1 billion square feet of real estate. 1 billion square feet of real estate. Now, let me tell you who their tenants are. Amazon, Home Depot, and FedEx are some of their biggest tenants. Now, obviously, Amazon's going in a different direction. I don't know how fast it can be because it's going to take some time to build a lot of those warehouses. But between Home Depot and FedEx, I think they got a pretty good thing. Things are going so well that they recently acquired a company called Duke Realty for $26 billion. $26 billion. And they didn't even wipe all the debt off for Duke Realty. They bought $26 billion from them. They bought the company for $26 billion, which is smaller than Prologis. They bought the company for $26 billion, and it came with all the debt that they had in place. So that's an amazing exit. Kudos for whoever ran that company because that exit is absolutely insane. Prologis is a publicly traded company. Their stock has been seeing a little downfall as the news has been coming out about Amazon going to get their own thing, but these other companies don't think like Amazon, such as Home Depot and FedEx, so they're probably still gonna have a good vacancy rate across their entire portfolio, but that is absolutely huge, a $26 billion buyout from a company that owns commercial real estate. All right, so one of my favorite rappers is back at it again, and he's teaming up with the guy Jack Dorsey. If you don't know Jack Dorsey is the co-founder of Twitter. Now, they're creating this camp called it's Bitcoin Academy. That's pretty interesting. It's a Bitcoin Academy, and they're basically saying, listen, Bitcoin is so huge, cryptocurrencies are so huge, and these kids and these people in these areas need not to get left behind. So they came out and said, listen, we're going to create the Bitcoin Academy. We're going to teach these kids everything they need to know. So what they're doing is they got free classes. It's absolutely free from June 22nd to September, and it's exclusively available for Brooklyn, New York, Marcy Project Housing Complex residents. And that's where Jay-Z grew up at. And so in the future, they plan to expand, but right now they're pilot testing the program right inside of Marcy Projects, which I think is pretty cool. Jay-Z is just one of those guys, you just can't predict his punches. And he's spending his money in the places that he sees is going to benefit the future for himself and the world. And so I think this is going to be an awesome program. I can't wait to see what comes out of it as far as these kids learning about cryptocurrency in general. Because you think about it, if the kids now don't really know about financial literacy when it comes to general things, when they get the advanced training when it comes to actually learning more about cryptocurrency, it's going to put them in the future. It's going to set them up right for the future. They also got this thing called Crypto Kids Camp, which is going to take place on the weekends. It's going to for kids from 5 to 17. And what they're going to give these kids is like a MiFi box, which is like internet. They're going to give them internet for free for a whole year. And they're also going to give them cell phones to go along with that if they need them so that they can be a part of this whole camp. I think Jay-Z is probably one of the top guys that's always putting his money where his mouth is. And kudos for Jack Dorsey for going alongside Jay-Z because this is going to be an awesome program. I'm going to keep checking in on this to see how the developments are going, but this is pretty good, man. So kudos to Jay-Z for coming up with the Crypto Academy for the people of Marcy Projects. All right, since the pandemic, one of the real estate sectors that has not seen the full rebound yet is commercial real estate. I mean, like Class A and Class B real estate offices. Between everybody working from home and companies just literally saying, hey, you don't have to come to the office, I think they're starting to realize that, hey, maybe we don't need this office space. There's companies that are saying, hey, you need to come back to work, like Tesla and Elon Musk. And there's other companies that are saying, nope, we figured out how to manage you from home. We're going to reduce our overhead by not having this expensive real estate. So we don't really need this office. And talking about expensive real estate, I don't know if you guys heard, but early on in the pandemic, Pinterest paid almost $90 million to break their lease. $90 million. That's crazy. That just, I already can't even fathom. They paid $90 million to get rid of their lease. And so companies like WeWork, they've never seen a rebound. Obviously, there's a lot more to that story about WeWork, and maybe we'll cover that one day in a longer special about how the crazy WeWork is. But I think Netflix and all these other places have done a good job covering WeWork. But WeWork never seen a rebound. Class A office space hasn't seen a rebound, and Class B office space really hasn't seen a rebound. So if you're an investor, stay away from commercial real estate office space because it's not seeing a rebound. But industrial, like I said before, is at an all-time low at 3.4% vacancy rate. So listen, if Pinterest, the big dogs, are paying $90 million to break a lease, I can only imagine what the actual lease was. And so one of the sectors that has not seen a rebound, and I don't foresee it seeing a rebound anytime soon, commercial real estate. I know over the last few months and weeks, you haven't heard much people chirping about NFTs. NFTs have completely just kind of like tanked. I don't care what NFT you have, the money has just went down. I was reading something where the guy that bought Jack Dorsey's first tweet bought it for like, I think it was like $20 million. And he went to go sell it at an auction thinking he was going to get millions and millions of dollars. And he only got an offer for a few thousand. And so me personally, I truly don't understand that section of NFT. I understand what its part is and what the utility is for, but I don't truly understand. But Mastercard is putting their money where their mouth is, and they're doing something pretty interesting. They're going to allow their users to actually purchase NFTs directly from the NFT person, the minter, meaning that you don't have to go buy a cryptocurrency with cash and then convert it into that currency to buy this NFT. They're literally allowing you to buy directly the NFT from the person who minted them. They said they want to be a part of this because NFTs have generated over $26 billion worth of sales since they became popular all over the place. Now, people say that most NFTs, 98% of them, are going to drop down to absolutely nothing. But that's not stopping Mastercard from putting its money where its mouth is and saying, listen, we want some of that money too. We want to get part of the Web3, the sandbox, all that stuff. We want in it. They want to play in the sandbox. So they're saying, listen, skip the line, buy directly with your Mastercard. Let's see what happens. Hopefully people don't go in crazy, rack up crazy credit card debt by buying it directly with their Mastercard. But hey, they're going to do what they're going to do. So no more having to swap cryptos and buy a wallet and moving all around. You can buy directly with your Mastercard. You guys have maybe seen this video.
If you're on this call, you are part of the unlucky group that is being laid off. Your employment here is terminated effective immediately.
Yeah, that's right. This guy fired 900 plus employees online on Zoom with no warning whatsoever right before the holidays. I mean, he's got to do what he's got to do, but he's also in some more hot water after coming back on as the CEO. One of the C-level executives in his company recently filed a lawsuit saying that she was fired because she was trying to warn him or the investors that his numbers are fluffed and all this thing. So Better.com, I think it is, or Better Company, Better.com is a mortgage company basically trying to simplify the whole mortgage and refinancing process. They've been doing pretty well. Check this out. SoftBank gave them $750 million in cash, infused it into their books days before they went on a rampage and fired all these people. Now, the company is said to be valued over $7.7 billion, but with interest rates going absolutely insane right now and mortgage applications in the tank, about 50% and refis down 75%, I don't think his business is doing as good as much. But we all know that SoftBank got more money than probably the Federal Reserve, the way they throw money at these companies. They're behind some of the biggest tech startups in the world. And so this is probably not going to slow them down at all. They made a bad bet with WeWork. and they didn't even lose a step. So this guy's getting sued for misleading investors. Not really misleading investors. An employee saying that she got fired or canned because she was tooting the horn and basically blowing the whistle and saying this guy's mislead investors. And so now he's in hot water. Well, we know with lawsuits like these, that means a lot more documents are going to start to come out. And unless they settle this, things are going to come to light, and I could probably see Better.com not going public. And they were going to go public with a SPAC. It's a special purpose acquisition company. It became pretty popular during COVID with, I forget his name, but very interesting guy. If you ever see him, I'll make sure I put his name down in the comments, in the description below. But they were going to go public with a SPAC with Aurora Capital, who's made some other risky bets, including some of these e-buyers or iBuyers, whatever you want to call them. But anyways, this guy is not looking too hot. And his filing for the fourth quarter said that they lost around $182 million in the fiscal year, which is not good. So a lot of things are going to be coming to light. So look out for this story for Better.com. And if you got fired from that place, sorry for you, but there's a lot of YouTube videos of actual employees that got fired that had no warning whatsoever, and they just got let go. But this guy is a vicious CEO from what I can see and what he's been portraying. Let's see what happens with this lawsuit. Let's see what's in the dark comes to light, because I'm pretty sure this story is not over yet, but I wish him luck. All right, so moving on to the next topic is purely an opinion. And I want to give my opinion and maybe ask you guys the questions, the watchers, the viewers, of what do you guys think about the college education or the higher education bust? Now, I know they've been talking about this for a long time, but I'm starting to see a lot more companies devalue certain degrees. I mean, obviously, if you're a doctor, or a lawyer, accountant, and those type of things, you're going to need a degree to be able to go get into your field. But what about most of the other degrees? What about the other 95%? I'm seeing a lot of big companies start to say, listen, we don't need that. We just want you to have some experience and have, good working attitude, or do this or do that. Do you believe, this is something I've always thought about, I believe that maybe at some point in time, well, first of all, the college enrollment has been seeing a decline ever since the pandemic. It's been really, really hard. But they seem to have some resilience that never lets them go down all the way, which is pretty cool. I mean, listen, nobody really wants to see any type of bubble burst. But at some point, colleges and degrees and the diplomas that you get from them are going to be almost worthless. Now, that's one thing. Set that aside. But if you've ever been in a town that's not huge, well, even some of the biggest cities like New York, some of the best prime real estate is owned by universities that typically don't pay a large or any tax at all. What will happen if these universities with large footprints start to have to get rid of that real estate or just abandon that real estate because they no longer need it? I know where I live, there's a lot of real estate that's owned particularly by one college that they got a good footprint. Their enrollment is pretty good right now from what I see. Their housing demands or needs are pretty high, so they build their own housing off campus for their students. But what happens when they don't need this anymore? What happens when those apartment complexes surrounded by the college are not needed anymore because the enrollment is down? Will this bring more housing online for the regular citizens that don't attend the college inside of those university cities? Or will the large footprint of these big colleges start to hurt those small towns that they live in because they're no longer going to have the foot traffic and the people and the temporary citizens that they have the whole time? I'm just worried. I don't have an answer, but I'm just curious. Will there ever be a bubble and a burst of higher education? And what would it look like? Tell me guys below in the comments. I just want to hear from you. And don't forget, please hit the subscribe button if you're still watching this. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm going to continue to put these out every single day, Monday through Friday. Turn on that notification bell so you can know exactly when these drop. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But before I do, hit that share button and share it with a friend. And don't forget, write in the comments on what topics you want me to cover next. I enjoyed your guys' company, and I'll see you next time on Major Hype. Peace.